Bitches go cricket when cash come out. Your diamonds don't hit till a flash come out. I am.
Guys, I absolutely love this dress and the way it fits. I don't know. I think it's perfect with the gold accessories and the gold necklace. I did have on my zero accessories at first. It was really cute. But this dress is so fucking.
Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. I got.
So boom, picture this. You're successful, you got your own business, tens of thousands of people following your every move, and it's your birthday. Life is good, right? That's exactly where Lyric Backus was on February 9th, 2024. But by the time the sun came up, she and her 7-year-old son Deuce were found dead in their garage. No violence, no break-in, no nothing. Just a mother and son who went to sleep and never woke up. What happened in those final hours? Oh, we're about to get into all of that. While most people are scrolling through birthday posts and planning celebrations, 27-year-old Lyric should be living her absolute best life. She got over 66,000 Instagram followers, a thriving clothing boutique, and a baby. It's her 28th birthday. But by morning, she's found dead in her garage alongside her 7-year-old son Deuce. No signs of violence, no break-in, just 2 bodies and a mystery that would leave investigators scratching their heads. What happened in those final hours, and why did a day of celebration become the deadliest birthday in Seagoville's recent memory?
Dallas County detectives are investigating the death of a mother and her little boy. Seagoville police found Lyric Backus and her 7-year-old son Deuce dead in the garage last week. Home surveillance cameras captured the chaos. Deuce was a first grader in Seagoville. Backus was a social media influencer. She had a clothing boutique and tens of thousands of followers. Family believes the pair died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Police are waiting on autopsies before confirming.
Let me tell you something. This story about to have you looking at your garage different, really different. You're watching Shadow Crimes TV, where we bring true crime and domestic violence stories out of the shadows. Subscribe now and join us daily as we uncover the cases that demand to be heard. Don't just watch, be part of the conversation. Now look, Lyric Lashendry Backus wasn't just another influencer trying to make it big. Born February 9th, 1996, this Dallas native had that rare combination, the hustle to build an empire and the heart to stay real with her followers. Her Instagram handle told the whole story, you feel me? This wasn't some random fashion page throwing up affiliate links and hoping for the best. Lyric owned and operated her own clothing boutique, serving up unique and stylish pieces that resonated with her followers. We're talking about a woman who turned her fashion sense into cold hard cash, leveraging social media to build a legitimate business empire that actually mattered. She knew exactly who she was, what she was building, and how to make it work. This wasn't some wannabe influencer begging for brand deals. This was a businesswoman who understood that social media was just a tool. The real money was in the product. Lyric's boutique wasn't just successful, it was inspiring. She had built something that connected with people, something that made her followers feel seen and understood. Her business sense was evident in every post, every story, every interaction with her community. She had figured out the secret that most influencers never crack: authenticity sells better than anything else. But here's what made Lyric different from every other entrepreneur grinding on social media. She never forgot where she came from or who she was serving. Friends described her as a beacon of positivity, whose vibrant spirit and infectious joy touched the lives of many. This wasn't fake influencer energy designed to sell products. This was the real deal, a woman who genuinely cared about the people following her journey. And then there was Deuce, 7 years old, first grade at Seagoville North Elementary, and absolutely the center of Lyric's world. Her Instagram was filled with their adventures, their bond, their life together as a team. This wasn't performative motherhood for the camera. This was a woman who had found her purpose in raising her son, and wasn't afraid to show the world what that looked like. Neighbors said Deuce had a playful spirit and bright smile, the kind of kid who made friends instantly and left an impression on everyone he met.
Yeah, I was concerned about the little boy, like, is he at school? Like, 'cause I know him and my daughter go to school right here.
The bond between Lyric and Deuce was something special. She didn't just post about being a mom, she lived it. Every adventure, every milestone, every ordinary Tuesday was documented, not because it would get likes, but because she was genuinely proud of the life they were building together. Anyways, Lyric's close friend Stanikia Richardson Pinky summed it up perfectly when she called Lyric a mother, friend, and boss. 3 roles, 1 woman, 0 compromise. She had figured out how to be successful without sacrificing the relationships that mattered most. By February 2024, Lyric had built something special. Hundreds of thousands of followers across platforms, a successful business that was growing every month, and a community that genuinely loved her and her son. But hey, success doesn't make you bulletproof. Money can't protect you from every danger, and sometimes the most dangerous threats are the ones you never see coming, the ones that slip into your life disguised as ordinary moments. February 9th, 2024, Lyric's 28th birthday. What should have been Instagram stories full of birthday love, celebration posts with Deuce, maybe some behind-the-scenes content from whatever party she had planned. None of it ever came. For someone who lived online, who connected with her community daily, who treated her followers like family, radio's silence was deafening. Her most loyal followers started noticing first. Where were the birthday posts? Where was Deuce's sweet birthday message to his mom? Where was the content that always came, like clockwork? When family members couldn't reach Lyric and Deuce for several days, they knew something was seriously wrong. This wasn't like her. Lyric was always connected, always posting, always responding to her community. She had built her business on being accessible, on being real, on being present. Radio silence from someone who lived online. That's not just a red flag. That's an emergency. They rushed to the Seagoville home, probably expecting to find them sick with the flu, maybe dealing with some family emergency that had kept them offline. What they found instead would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Lyric and Deuce are unresponsive in the garage. No signs of struggle, no evidence of violence, no indication that anyone else had been there. Just a mother and son who had simply stopped breathing. The scene was peaceful in the most terrifying way possible, like they had just fallen asleep and never woke up. First responders arrived fast, but it was already too late. Whatever had happened in that garage had been swift, silent, and deadly. EMTs worked frantically, but there was nothing they could do. The time for saving lives had passed hours, maybe days ago. Think about that scene for a second. A quiet residential street in Seagoville, the kind of place where kids ride bikes and neighbors know each other's names, suddenly swarming with emergency vehicles, police tape, and neighbors trying to process what they were seeing. This wasn't supposed to happen here. Not to them, not to the woman who always waved when she saw you, not to the little boy who played with everyone's kids. The timing made everything infinitely worse. Lyric's birthday, what should have been her 28th celebration, what should have been a day of joy and gratitude and looking forward to the future, became the day her community lost 2 of their own. The cruel irony wasn't lost on anyone. The day she came into the world became the day she left it. Seagoville police immediately launched a full investigation. No obvious cause of death, no signs of foul play, no evidence of break-in or robbery or violence of any kind. Just 2 bodies, and a mystery that would take forensic experts and medical examiners to solve. The kind of case that keeps detectives up at night because nothing makes sense until suddenly everything does. But the family had a theory almost immediately. They suspected carbon monoxide poisoning. Something about finding them in the garage, something about the way they looked, something about the complete lack of any other explanation. It all pointed to one terrifying possibility that nobody wanted to voice out loud. The invisible killer had struck again. And if they were right, this wasn't murder in any traditional sense. This wasn't someone with evil intentions targeting a successful young mother. This was something far more frightening, a completely preventable accident that could happen to literally anyone watching this video right now. Hold up, before we reveal what investigators think really happened that night, I need to ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. Have you ever fallen asleep in your car? Maybe after a long day at work, waiting for someone to come out of a store, sitting in your driveway after a difficult day, and just needing a moment before you go inside and deal with real life? Because what I'm about to tell you might save your life or someone you love. The theory that emerged from this investigation is gonna make you think twice about something millions of people do without a second thought. Something so common that most of us have done it without even considering the risks. Here's what investigators believe happened. Lyric came home after her birthday celebration. Maybe she was tired from the day. Maybe she needed a moment to decompress before going inside and dealing with bedtime routines and getting ready for the next day. Maybe Deuce had fallen asleep in the car and she didn't want to wake him up just yet. So she got in her car in the garage with Deuce, turned on the engine, probably for heat or air conditioning just to be comfortable while they sat there, and fell asleep. That's it. That simple. That innocent. That deadly, because what Lyric didn't know, what most people don't know, is that her garage was about to become a gas chamber, and the weapon, something so common, so everyday that it's produced by nearly every household appliance that burns fuel. The silent killer was already at work, and neither Lyric nor Deuce had any idea they were in mortal danger. Moving on to the real villain in this story, carbon monoxide. Two words that should terrify you more than any serial killer, any home invader, any criminal we've ever covered on this channel. Because unlike human predators, carbon monoxide doesn't choose its victims. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, young or old, careful or careless. It just kills quietly and efficiently without warning or mercy. Here's why this invisible enemy is so absolutely terrifying. It's completely odorless, colorless, and tasteless. You can't see it creeping into your space. You can't smell it building up around you. You can't taste it in the air you're breathing. It just quietly fills up whatever space you're in. And by the time you realize something's wrong, your brain is already too oxygen-starved to save you. When you run a car engine in an enclosed space like a garage, that engine is pumping out carbon monoxide with every single breath it takes. And here's the absolute nightmare part. Carbon monoxide doesn't just make you sick like other poisons. It literally hijacks your blood, turning your own circulatory system against you. Your red blood cells have one job: carry oxygen from your lungs to every part of your body. Your brain, your heart, your organs, they all depend on that oxygen delivery system working perfectly. But carbon monoxide is a master manipulator, a molecular con artist that tricks your blood into choosing death over life. Carbon monoxide binds to your red blood cells 200 times strongly than oxygen does. Think about that number, 200 times. So instead of life-giving oxygen flowing through your system, you're getting poisoned with every heartbeat, and your body can't tell the difference until it's way too late. Your brain starts shutting down first, because it needs the most oxygen to function. You get confused, dizzy, and weak. You might think you're just tired, exactly what someone would feel after a birthday celebration, after a long day, after dealing with the normal stresses of life. Then comes the nausea, the chest pain, the overwhelming need to just sleep, and that's the trap. That's how carbon monoxide kills so efficiently. Your body is literally screaming for help, sending every distress signal it can, but your oxygen-starved brain interprets all of those signals as exhaustion. So you close your eyes thinking you just need a quick rest, never realizing that every breath is bringing you closer to death. The symptoms read like a checklist of things people ignore every day: headache, dizziness, weakness, upset stomach, vomiting, chest pain, and confusion. How many times have you felt some of those symptoms and just pushed through? How many times have you thought, I just need to sleep this off? Let me tell you something. The CDC reports that carbon monoxide kills over 400 Americans every year, but here's what's really messed up. It sends over 100,000 people to emergency rooms and hospitalizes 14,000 more annually. That means for every person who dies, there are hundreds who barely escape with their lives. Lyric and Deuce weren't unlucky. They weren't targeted by some cosmic force of evil. They became statistics in a completely preventable tragedy that happens because most people have no idea how fast this killer works, or how common the scenarios are that create deadly conditions. In a closed garage with a running car, carbon monoxide levels can become lethal in just minutes, not hours, minutes. The exhaust from that car engine builds up faster than you can imagine, and once you're unconscious, there's no waking up to save yourself. There's no moment of clarity where you realize what's happening and get to safety. Now, this wasn't a criminal case in the traditional sense. No arrests, no trials, no courtroom drama. The investigation confirmed what the family suspected: carbon monoxide poisoning. 2 lives lost to an invisible killer that strikes without warning. The news hit Seagoville like a freight train, carrying nothing but grief and disbelief. This wasn't just another tragedy you scroll past on social media, another headline that makes you shake your head and move on with your day. This was their neighbor, their friend, their community member. But the real explosion of grief happened online, where Lyric's digital community learned about the tragedy in real time. Her 66,000 Instagram followers and hundreds of thousands across other platforms suddenly found themselves mourning someone they felt they knew personally, someone who had been part of their daily routine. Her comment sections became digital memorials, filled with crying emojis and memories from people who had never met her in person, but felt connected to her story. The hashtag Deuce and Lyric 5EVA started trending, showing just how far their impact reached beyond their physical community. However, social media being what it is, not everyone responded with sympathy and support. Some users started speculating about what really happened that night, dissecting every detail they could find. The speculation got ugly quickly. People who had never met Lyric, who knew nothing about her character or her choices, felt qualified to judge her final moments. But hey, close friend Stanichir Richardson Pinky posted an emotional tribute that captured the frustration many felt, watching people who never knew Lyric personally tear apart her character, while her family was still trying to figure out how to plan funerals for 2 people who should still be alive. Look, the CDC has a checklist that could have saved Lyric and Deuce's lives, and it might save yours. First and most important, carbon monoxide detectors, not smoke detectors. Carbon monoxide detectors. They're different devices that detect different dangers, and you need both. Never, and I mean never, run a car in an attached garage, even with the door open. Carbon monoxide can seep into your house through cracks and gaps you can't even see. Don't use your gas oven to heat your house when the furnace breaks. Don't bring generators, grills, or camp stoves indoors, no matter how cold it gets outside. And here's a warning sign that could save your life. If you start feeling flu-like symptoms that get better when you leave your house, that's not a coincidence. That's carbon monoxide poisoning. Get out immediately, get fresh air, and call for help. The scariest part, this exact scenario plays out in homes across America every single day. All it takes is one mistake, one moment of not thinking about the consequences, and families are destroyed forever. Carbon monoxide doesn't care about your plans, your dreams, your responsibilities. It doesn't care that you have a business to run, followers who depend on you, a child who needs you. And the most heartbreaking part of Lyric and Deuce's story, if they had just cracked a window, if the garage door had been open, if they had been anywhere else, they would still be alive today. The margin between life and death was that thin. Period. That's their story. A successful businesswoman, a loving mother, a bright little boy, all taken by something completely preventable. Check your detectors, know the signs, because this invisible killer doesn't discriminate, and the next time it could be your family that never wakes up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Share this story, not for the views, but because it might save someone's life.